everyone, and welcome to What the Why, RVN's newer television show with your host, Barbara Ann. Maybe you found us by accident. Maybe you've been searching for something and you just don't know what that something is. Maybe you feel sick and tired of being sick and tired. Whatever brought you here, this is the place for you. Because we feature diverse conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about what they do and, more importantly, how they figured out it was their mission in life. Today, our guest is Luis De La Hoz. He's first vice president and regional director of community lending at Valley Bank. But one of the main reasons we have him here today is he's also chairman of the board of directors of the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for New Jersey. For more than 2 decades, Luis has been working in small business and commercial arenas as a small business owner, consultant. He's been a volunteer. He's been members of boards of trustees and directors. He's worked as a commercial lender and served in other vital positions. He's helped countless businesses get capital they need to grow, including helping micro businesses in roles with organizations such as Rising Tide Capital and the Intersect Fund and the Small Business Development Center of New Jersey, and larger businesses in roles with traditional banks, including in his current position with Valley Bank. Luis has served on several key organizational boards, including serving as the co-chair of Governor-elect Phil Murphy's Stronger and Fairer Economy Committee. He's spent 8 years on the board of advisors for the Hispanic Chamber of E-Commerce, 5.5 years on the State Theater of New Jersey's Board of Trustees, and nearly 10 years with the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce of New Jersey board, over which 3 he has served as its chair. Luis has won numerous awards from multiple entities for his work, including a commendation from the County of Middlesex, and recently being named to the ROI Influencers list for New Jersey for 2022. His educational achievements include finance manager from Universidad Autónoma de Manizales.
Yes.
Did I get that? Okay. Got to work on my Spanish. Used to be much better. A certificate in management from Universidad de los Andes, multiple entrepreneurship certificates from Rutgers University, Newark, and he completed the Emerging Leaders in Micro Businesses, or ELM, Leadership Development Program in Organizational Development with FIELD, which stands for Fund for Innovation, Effectiveness, Learning, and Dissemination at the world-famous Aspen Institute. So, having done all of that, it's amazing you still have time to sleep.
Yes.
So without further ado, please welcome Luis De La Hoz.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
I'm so glad you were able to drive all the way down here from North Jersey. It's a crazy kind of weather day.
It is, but it's amazing. I mean, if you never visit South New Jersey, this is a good opportunity.
Thank you so much. And we're really glad to have you here. So I'm going to start out with one of our famous signature questions. It's actually a question we ask every guest. You've done so many things over the course of your career. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
I just wanna, my goal was to be able to transcend, to leave a legacy behind what I do, basically.
Okay. So when you leave it better.
Yes, and make an example for future generations. My wife and I, we have 2 daughters, and I hope that one day they will be proud of what we achieve.
Okay. Now, how did you journey from being that young person who realized that your goal was to make a difference and to leave the world a better place, to where you are now, both working in this prominent position at Valley Bank, as well as serving in the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which actually won a national award from the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce?
I mean, it has been a long journey, but I have been enjoying every minute of it. Everything started because I moved from Colombia to the U.S. in 2004.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the political situation there, my father was declared a military target, And thanks to the veterans, we found the United States a safe place to come. And I came here, and I mean, remember between 2002 and 2008, the economy was flourish.
Yeah.
And I was able to start my business a year after I arrived. I purchased a income tax practice in New Brunswick. But after a few years there, I realized that the financial crisis hit, and a lot of people, especially from Hispanic heritage, they start coming asking me questions. And I realized there was a lot of nonprofit and government agencies that they was trying to reach out to the Hispanic market, but they didn't have the ability to do that. And I started doing that as a volunteer until I realized how many businesses we are. We are over 140,000 Latino small business owners in the state of New Jersey, that we contribute over $20 billion to the New Jersey economy. And entrepreneurship is the best way that we have to overcome poverty.
Wow. Now, I know you were very involved in the Middlesex Chamber, and then where you launched the Hispanic Business Expo. The next Hispanic Business Expo, by the way, is July 19th in Edison, and you don't want to miss it. And information about that will be posted later if you would like to learn more about how you can attend or get involved in that expo. So how did you end up finding your way to the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce?
It's funny because I went there 3 times, asking them, hey, everything that you do is Patterson, Passaic, Hackensack. When are you planning on doing something in Middlesex? Because I live in Edison. And they say no to me 3 times. But when I started working as a volunteer in the Intersect Fund, I thought that everybody that applied for a microloan can be approved. And I realized that some people get declined even for a $2,000 microloan. And I started thinking, okay, what I can do with people that get declined for a microloan. That's when I came with the idea of Hispanic Business Expo, because the best way to finance your business is through your customers, not through the financial institutions. And I thought if I help them to increase their sales, they will be able to come back to me. They will have stronger financials. I will be able to consider them. And what happened was the second year, the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce came, and they didn't believe what they saw. A lot of people, tables, food, alcohol. I mean, that was a nice party. And they say, why are you helping a non-Hispanic chamber and not us? He said, I came here. I said, can you help us? He said, only if you consider me for the board. And at the beginning, they thought that that was so arrogant. But I explained to them, I said, listen, this is no ego. This is what the only thing that I want is that if someone doesn't understand the work that I do, I want to be in a place where I can defend the work that I do. And back then, the chamber was in a really bad position. Every chamber in 2010, at least the ones that I was involved with, everybody owned 300,000 and we didn't have enough members. 10 years after, we are the largest chamber of commerce in terms of membership, and we have money in the bank. But we changed the business model because we learned the lesson after the financial crisis.
And with all of that success, you could have kept that to yourselves, but that's not what you do. Other chambers reached out to you and said, how do we replicate what you do? And you freely shared that information, which led to the growth of the New Jersey Veterans Chamber of Commerce and the LGBTQ Chamber of Commerce.
One funny fact was that when I joined the chamber, I thought that we was the last group of people on the line. And when I was making the line, I realized that they was not even making the line yet. Veterans, LGBT, Asian, Punjabis. I mean, it's a lot of minorities that they didn't have the momentum that we have. And our goal was, okay, every time that we open a door, we need to keep that door open for them. That way they can come and use. And we are able to share the ingredients and the recipe. But it's up to them if they want to practice that recipe and being able to make that happen. A lot of people call and say, hey, Luis, how you achieve this or how the chamber achieved this? And when we mention to them, they say, no, it's a faster or an easiest way. No, I don't know a faster way. I don't know an easy way. I only know one way, and it's perseverance, dedication, and discipline. Those are the ingredients that I do believe that make a lot of sense. And we changed the business model because even if we have a lot of members, but we don't focus the chamber business model on the membership. We focus the chamber business model on results. And if we are able to provide results, the money will come. Sooner or later, but the money will come. You need to do the work before you attract the money. It's not the other way around. Nobody will give you the money just to see if you are able to do the work.
Mm-hmm. Which is fantastic advice. And it did work. I mean, you are one of the few non-veterans to actually have been recognized by the statewide or the New Jersey Veterans Chamber of Commerce because of the assistance that you provided to them in helping them to grow as significantly as they have in the last few years.
It's funny, I believe that when I say to them that I was willing to help, they didn't believe. They probably say, you know, there's a lot of people that mention to us that they will help. But no, I did help them. But as I say, I can invite them to participate on a meeting. I can invite them to be considered for something. But if they don't show up, I cannot do anything, right? I'm not able, I know some statistics and data about them, but I don't have the background. I'm not a veteran. But my respect and thank you for your service for all the veterans. As I say early today, thanks to the veterans, we, my family and I, we found a safe country to come, and we will be always grateful for that opportunity. Thank you very much for your service.
Yeah. Now, there's a number of different initiatives that you have going on within the Chamber right now, including training, the expo that's coming up. Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about some of the services that you are offering that produce those results?
Basically, what we did was we aligned everything that we do with one purpose, is how we can help small businesses to scale. And one of the things that we do is we try to identify those who have high growth potential, and we provide 2 classes. One is called HETP, Hispanic Entrepreneur Training Class. You don't need to be Hispanic in order for you to participate. But if you are Hispanic and you are not able to learn your subjects in English, you will be able to come and learn those subjects in Spanish. And Latina Entrepreneur Training Series. Did you know that Latinas start businesses 6 times faster than any other ethnic group? That's why we decided to put a class that is focused on Latinas. And that's important because they have some challenges that we don't have. And for that reason is from Latina business owners to Latina entrepreneurs.
And I think that's a really important point that you mentioned, because you're not exclusive, you are inclusive.
I mean, we always talk about diversity and inclusion, but in order for us to ask for people to become diverse, we need to show them and lead them by example. We need to do diverse. And you know, Latinos, we came in all the shapes, all the colors, all the flavors. We came from 22 different countries. We speak the same language, but I mean, is a variety on us. But we also are veterans. We are also from the LGTB. We are also from other communities. We have Latinos that are Afro descent. And we respect that, and we open our doors and our events for a lot of people to come to feel comfortable and secure in order for them to learn and practice how to network.
Okay, great. Well, believe it or not, it's actually time for our break. So we're going to take a break for our commercials, and we'll be back with Chairman of the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Luis De La Hoz. Good afternoon. Welcome back to What the Why, and our guest, Luis De La Hoz, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And we were just talking about the importance of inclusion and some of the programs that they offer. The Middlesex Hispanic, the big expo, the Hispanic Expo that's going to be the Business Expo. I just keep tripping over my words. And of course, anybody who watches the show knows everybody makes mistakes, as do I. So the Hispanic Business Expo on July 19th.
Yeah.
What can we expect from this upcoming event?
We are expecting over 150 exhibitors and over 1,500 attendees.
Wow.
And this year we will keep the virtual portion of the event. Do that smaller, because during the pandemic, we grew from 1,500 attendees to 10,000 attendees. Wow. Because everything was virtually. But, the biggest problems that we face are access to capital, access to new markets, access to networks, and the digital gap. For that reason, we are using this expo to teach small business owners how to consider the digital economy, because the numbers are there. I mean, the amount of money that the federal government put on the streets during the pandemic is less than half of what Amazon increased their sales during the pandemic. I mean, if we get a little bit of action on the economy, I believe that we will do better.
Amen to that. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you do, both in the chamber, but also in your role in lending. Where do you cover? What are the areas that you cover in terms of commercial lending, and what are some of the types of businesses that you've helped in your role with Valley Bank?
I mean, it's about farming, it's not about hunting. And what we do is we plant the seeds from our customers 7 years ago. And we have been helping them through the process. It took us 2.5 years to assist Senor Sangria to get access to SBA loan. Oh. Because the first year that we met him, he got declined. But we used the information as a GPS, and we guide him through the process to be considered the following year. And after he filed the taxes focused on the SBA application, he got approved. Okay. When people access to capital, is two things. One is the lack of personal credit history, and the second is the lack of collateral. Did you know that less than 10% of the minority business owners that own businesses on Main Street, they own the location where they perform the business? Imagine if we can increase that to 20%. That will generate a lot of wealth for our small business owners. That's why access to capital is important no matter what. But the other thing is, the best way to finance your business is through your customer, not through the banks. Banks are here to support you when you are growing. If you want to expand, if you want to open a second location, or if you want to purchase equipment or the location. I mean, whatever you need. But the most important thing is that you have access to new markets. And those new markets, in our case, we teach our members in how to reach out to the general market and how they can explore procurement opportunities with the government or with the corporations. Mm-hmm. And the government in this country is the best customer, the biggest customer, and 30% of the government is supposed to be addressed with minorities. That's the huge opportunity that we have there.
So where do you see yourself going in terms of your role within the bank, and where do you see as the future for this statewide Hispanic chamber?
I mean, I'm so grateful because I was able to create my own job. I bring my job description to my job. I was able to, the only thing that what I was not able to negotiate was my income, but the rest was okay. But they embrace me, my cultural heritage and everything, because they understand that with the change of demographics, they really want to serve minorities. They want to serve people that look like me, that speak like me, and you know, we are trying to embrace everybody on the communities, especially on opportunity zones that are usually low, very low and moderate income individuals, because I insist, entrepreneurship is the best way that we have to overcome poverty. Absolutely. Latinos, we have more chances to save money if we start a business versus if we find a job. And African Americans, they have twice the opportunity to save money. And that's why we are doing what we do. And
women as well. I mean, really, entrepreneurship for so many groups is really the path forward to creating wealth.
Someone say that if you want to achieve something or do something, just ask women to do it. That will happen for sure.
Truth. So who would you say are 3 people who've been most influential to you on your journey?
People who say no to me, they push me to the edge, because sometimes people say yes to me and I don't do anything expecting them to do it. But those people that say no to me, they really push me and make me do things that I was not expecting to do. One. And I mean, mentors and individuals that I have a CPA, and his name is Ralph Winter. He doesn't have a filter. He tells me the truth, the way that it is. Sometimes it's painful, but I'm always grateful with him because he is the one who ground me every time and say, no, you know, don't think like that. This is the reality. That's important. Yeah. And people that inspire me, right? The people that they are good leaders, they are humble, and they teach me that it's possible to make a legacy.
Okay. What's one thing you wish you had known before you launched on this journey that you're on?
Be more patient. Yes. I mean, it's very interesting. We have 2 ears in one mouth, and if we use proportionally, we will be able to be more patient. But sometimes you really want to achieve something because even if it's a good cause, but you just need to be patient.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is one thing about, especially about the lending industry, that people really don't understand?
I think that it's not that they don't understand, it's that they don't want to take responsibility for it. I mean, one is the amount. If you ask any entrepreneur how much money do you need, nobody will give you a straight answer. Yeah. They will say the maximum amount and the fastest way possible, and it's not an answer, especially for a banker. And the other thing is when we told them that they need to pay taxes because it's the only way that they will be able to scale. And sometimes they do understand the concept, but they don't want to do what they understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially in a state like New Jersey where it can be very expensive.
But, you know, the reality is during the pandemic, I will say that this was a really good state to live on it during the pandemic. The type of support that we get, for example, from the NJEDA, they used to process 500 applications a year. They did 70,000 in 1 year. Mm-hmm. Was not about the amount of money, but was small portions or small amounts of money to too many people that make the difference.
Mm-hmm. You've been able to accomplish so many things seemingly against so many odds. Where did you find the courage to do some of the things that you did?
I mean, I think that if you can imagine, it's possible. And sometimes, as I say, when people say no, that gives me the energy, the courage, and the intention. It's not to prove them wrong. It's just to prove them that was a possibility. Even if sometimes take me longer time or a lot of energy, but I do believe that in this country, through networking, nonprofits, and social media, you are able to accomplish a lot of things that probably before was not the case. But at this time, I do believe that those are the 3 key factors that make a lot of things possible.
Yeah. And you're a living proof of that. So, believe it or not, we're out of time.
The
half hour goes quick. No,
Yes.
I wish we get more time. So thank you so much for coming, for taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedule to drive all the way down here on a crazy weather day. And again, Luis's contact information is going to be posted. You'll be able to find him as well as the Statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce online, the website, LinkedIn contacts, as well as a link to the Hispanic Business Expo, which will be coming up on July 19th in Edison. Luis is our latest inspiring guest, and we have many more lined up for you in future episodes. Next week, we're thrilled to be joined by Dee Bolton, also known as Faith Fueled Mom. Dee is a personal trainer at Elevate Athletics and a fitness influencer, a blogger, a content creator, a brand ambassador, and she's the owner of Faith Fueled Mom, the brand. The following week, we'll be joined by Ngozi Bell. She's a Nigerian-born engineer and former SBA regional advocate appointed by President Obama, who combines physics and engineering and has managed venture capital and private equity firms with over $1 billion in revenue. She's a global speaker and writes on topics ranging from core technology to women and entrepreneurship. and she's a champion of STEAM for women, youth, art, and Africa We Must Engage are some of the activities that she's involved in. So you really don't want to miss what either of these guests have to say. As a reminder, What the Why airs on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1 p.m. and then again on Mondays at 3:30 p.m. And within about 24 hours of the initial airing, it's also available on demand through RVN Television as well as Roku. So please keep in mind, whether you're looking to make changes in your life or career, big or small, or you know someone else who's looking to make changes in their life, big or small, please join us again for more inspirational and informative conversations with people like Luis, who wanted to make changes, make their mark in their place in history, leave things better than when they got there, overcame their fears and obstacles, and found their purpose and are living it.